What is going on, guys? It is Joe here again, and we are gonna start with the first episode of our new little series I'm gonna have here. Try and do it weekly. It's gonna be what am I driving this week? This week it's gonna be this 2010 Land Rover LR4. But pretty much what this series is gonna be about is what I'm driving this week. Hence the name. Shocker, right? But no, I have a unique opportunity compared to most people to where I get to drive 90 to 100 different cars a year. So what I was going to do is do a quick little review on some of those cars. Most of them are going to be 2 to 10-year-old European cars, something that you can buy in the $5,000 to $35,000 range. So it's going to be like good budget value cars, and I'll just give you a quick little insight on my thoughts with each of them. And if you happen to want a little more in-depth review on any of them, just throw it in the comments, let me know, and I'll see if I can make it happen. This one is a 2010 Land Rover LR4. This kind of, to me, represents the end of Land Rover's significant styling era. Everything after this, the new Discovery, is kind of mainstream. It's not boxy like, look at me, I'm driving a Land Rover. You don't mistake this with anything else on the road. Now, the new stuff you kind of do. So, kind of sad, but you can still buy these at a decent deal. So this is a 2010, 115,000 miles. Something like this can be had for, I don't know, 15 grand or so. This is the HSE with the Lux Package. And if you come across the Lux Package, I would say that is the one to get. So why would I get the Lux Package? I'll just kind of show you a couple little things. The Lux Package comes with their passive keyless system. I don't know what Land Rover calls it. If it was BMW, it would be Comfort Access. Audi would be Advanced Key. So it allows you to keep the key in your pocket. And speaking of that key, they come with a nice, kind of aesthetically pleasing key. It's nice and weighty, a little better than most. Hopefully this doesn't fall apart like all the old Land Rover keys where the buttons kind of wear out, but you never know. But yeah, so the passive key, don't have to get your key out. That button locks all the doors, and then if you want to unlock them, stick your hand on it. You can kind of watch. Locked, unlocked. That lets you open it up, and then it gives you, it's got a little push button start there. On top of that, the Lux Package gives you the little higher quality leather than the normal HSE, and then on you also get the upgraded sound system, always a bonus. And then the big one for me, got it fired up here. Big one for me would be the xenon headlights. It's kind of hard to not have those these days. And once you have them, it's hard to go back to the normal halogen. One of the big things about the Land or the LR4, LR3 is the cargo room. It's got a neat like split tailgate. It's got this cool little dip. I'll shut that again so you can see that. I mean, that's a kind of badass styling feature. You don't mistake that for any other car on the road besides a Land Rover. But yeah, so split tailgate, just has a little button on the top, surprisingly not broken for a Land Rover. And all the seats fold almost perfectly flat. Gives you a ton of cargo room. They got that high rear roof. All tons of stuff. And then it's got kind of a cool all glass roof with 3 different sunroofs. The front one opens up, the rear 2 are fixed. But yeah, so it's got 3 rows, plenty of room when you fold them all down. Good amount of room with the second row up. Kind of neat little storage boxes everywhere. They're pretty utilitarian vehicles, so they got a ton of nice stuff if you want to actually use your SUV. Decent off-road capabilities. This one's got the backup camera right there. Parking sensors, so you aren't hitting stuff. But pretty similar to the previous generation LR3, or in the rest of the world would be the Discovery 3. But the big difference is these have the 5-liter direct injected V8 instead of the 4.4-liter V8. The LR3 had 300 horsepower and it got around. It just wasn't really enough in my opinion. The 375 horsepower 5-liter V8 makes the world of difference on this guy. And it's kind of hard to do without after you've had it. Going back to the LR3 that we have, not quite as fun. On the inside, get the typical Land Rover looking steering wheels, pretty close to the same as the LR3. Got these neat little horn buttons. Kind of one of my favorite horn buttons out of any vehicle. And look at it worked on getting the dogs here. And center stack on the display for 2010, kind of nice. It's got a little digital display right there. The fuel gauge, temp gauge are both digital. You can kind of scroll through, see your fuel distance to empty, mileage, trip, average speed, average fuel economy. We'll get to that here. Not good. I think they're rated at like 12 in the city, but who cares? You're driving a Land Rover. You're probably some oil tycoon anyways. Not a big deal. They have a touchscreen navigation radio. Got no disc in the CD. Little primitive feeling compared to anything else, and it's a little less intuitive than say like BMW or Audi or Mercedes that I'm used to. But Land Rover's kind of always been behind on that if you ask me. Little analog clock, kind of neat feature, pointless but neat. Heated seats. I do like the climate control. Look at that display, that looks nice. Oh, I just like that digital display. Nice feeling knobs. Yeah. But yeah, so we'll get to the big thing on Land Rover. So here's the big things that makes a Land Rover a Land Rover. It's got these knobs, modes. You got, that's snow, woods, desert, rock climbing. Got adjustable air suspension. It's got 4-corner air suspension and low range and hill descent. We'll kind of go through the modes here. We're in normal mode now. You'll see it pop up. Now we're in it. Grass, gravel, and snow. That program is selected. Mud ruts. It wasn't trees or woods, it was mud ruts. And we're supposed to put it in low for mud ruts, so we'll stick it in low. Go down, got a sticker in neutral. Now we're in low range. And as we're in low range, it's pumping the suspension up too. Another neat little feature we'll get to here that you can play around with. Go back, get to 4x4 info. So right there you're in off-road mode with the mud ruts. And you can see we're selected. It's got a little level. You can see when your wheels are all jacked up or whatever. Kind of neat feature. So what else we got for modes? We got sand. In case you're out in the dunes. Utah, maybe over outside Dubai. Who knows? And the other, rock crawl. And rock crawl automatically locks the center differential. And then the LR4s have an optional rear locking differential. So yeah, there's all the modes. We'll stick her back into normal mode. Dump her down to normal height. Stick her into high range. Oh, and I've almost forgot my favorite feature as to why I would make sure to get the luxury package versus the normal HSE. Right in here, see that little light on? That's for the refrigerator. Who wouldn't want a cold drink? So there is my quick little overview of the 2010 Land Rover LR4. Not in depth at all. Might not even be worth your time. But either way, appreciate you guys killing a little time with me tonight. And we'll try and do a few more little weekly reviews. And hopefully you guys like them. Give me a little feedback in the comments if it's anything you want to see or not. And if not, tell me. Not gonna hurt my feelings. But yeah. And on another note, there's what happens if that tree right there falls on one of those lawn chairs. Does a little bit of damage. Kind of dents the garage too. Fun stuff. Right, Sasha?